Good morning. It's LAF News giving you the inside scoop of the revolutionary life.
This just in, breaking news over at the Bastille Prison. Over to you, Mercedes.
Thanks, Aubrey. It is July 14th, 1789. I am outside of the Bastille Prison where many angry French citizens are trying to enter the prison to release the 7 prisoners that are held captive, as well as retrieve the gunpowder that is held inside. These people are starving and hungry and are willing to go to any extent necessary to get what they want. Everyone outside here has their mind set on retrieving the 250 barrels of gunpowder that was recently shipped in from the Paris arsenal. Many people march into the Hotel des Invalides to retrieve a calibre of weapons. Launay, the governor of Bastille Prison, I can imagine extremely concerned that his prison is about to become demolished. I recently learned that 2 negotiators have been sent inside to make a deal with the governor, but they have not come out in a while.
Interesting, Mercedes. Now what do you think the negotiators are trying to bargain?
Well, Emmie, their overall goal is to release the prisoners that are held captive in there, as well as retrieve the gunpowder. And they hope that the governor will surrender over his prison. Wait! Things are getting really hectic out here. People are firing back and forth. We'll have to come back to you soon with the latest updates. Back to you, Emmie.
Sadie. Now over to Lauren Murphy with the inside scoop on the women's storming of Versailles.
The Women's March on Versailles spontaneously started in the morning of October 5th, 1789. This was organized by a group of women in markets in Paris. Their march was also sparked by rumors that King Louis XVI and his royalist troops had ridiculed and stomped on the cockade, which was a symbol of the revolution. The marching women gathered more angry women, few men, and possibly even radicals. They marched to the Hotel de Ville, which was a city council, and demanded that city officials followed the reform. By the time they got to the City Hall in Paris, they numbered from about 6,000 to 10,000. At the City Hall, they obtained more weapons because all they had were items such as kitchen knives and some swords and muskets. They walked from Paris to Versailles in about 6 hours.
Now, Lauren, were there any leaders in this march?
Marie Maillard had become a leader and had helped attack the Bastille in July. The goal of bringing King Louis XVI back to Paris so he would be responsible for the reforms that he signed. He didn't trust Marie Antoinette or that the king would support the declaration proposed by the National Assembly. He appeared before the crowd, and the king, the National Assembly, and the crowd traveled back 2 weeks later. King Louis XVI being forced to support the reforms was a turning point in the French Revolution. That's all from me. Now back to Aubrey and Emmie.
Over to Mercedes with an update on the storming of the Bastille Prison.
Thanks, guys. Good news, Governor Launay has risen the white flag, signaling surrender. But sadly, 100 people have died here on the scene today. That is all for our breaking news on the Bastille Prison.
Now for our daily segment of Coffee on the Couch with Aubrey.
Hi, it's Aubrey with Coffee on the Couch, and today we're going to talk about the French Revolutionary Calendar. The French Revolutionary Calendar was introduced by the French government on the 24th of November, 1793. The idea was that the French Revolutionary Calendar would replace the Georgian calendar. The calendar was based on Christian principles, while the French Revolutionary Calendar was based on scientific principles. The French Revolutionary Calendar was used for 12 years. The calendar began on autumn equinox each year, and it started on September 22nd, 1792, which was the founding of the Republic. A year is said to have 12 months with 30 days in each, like what we have today. We also had leap years, and extra days were added during the leap years. The days were called complementary and feast days, and they were only used during leap years. The months of the calendar were also often named after natural events that happened during the months and during the seasons of the year. The months were also divided into 3 decades consisting of 10 days each. The 10th day was known as the Day of Rest. Most people only got 3 days of rest because of how the months were, and a lot of them didn't like that. Finally, the French Revolutionary Calendar was abolished on the 1st of January, 1806. It's me, Aubrey Waters, from Coffee on the Couch. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Dear Sarah, it's been a few weeks since I've last tried to communicate with you in these secret letters. I'm going to go straight into the details because I don't have much time. While the Catholic Church held the same equality of the government, or let's say the Church was the government, it has transformed into the target of the revolution and is dealing with its own continuous downfall. The Church is exempt from taxation, and held a great amount of political and economic power. The revolutionary leaders are sick of letting the church control their life, and have realized that the de-Christianization of France will lead to more power on their end. They've made the priests swear an oath of loyalty to the Constitution rather than the Word of God. The priests that were in high positions, such as bishops, were quick to switch sides, yet the lower-ranking clergy put up a fight which led to gruesome consequences. Priests being burned to death and others made to eat their flesh. Priests being tied together and thrown into water, drowning to death. Priests being murdered for sticking to what they believed in. The revolutionary powers are now also looking at punishing civilians who continuously practice the ways of the Catholic Church. We have tried to take and hide holy relics from the church so the revolutionary armies would not take and destroy them. Many of my fellow neighbors who are deep into their faith have now joined with the revolutionaries and are now persecuting others. I'm scared, to say the least, for my life and for the religion that has held this country together for so many years. Write soon so I know that you are safe and what shape it's in over there. Keeping you in my prayers.
Hi, I'm Isabel Sue.
And I'm Ainsley Silverthorne.
And I'm here to talk about the Revolutionary Tribunals.
And I'm here to talk about the Reign of Terror.
The Revolutionary Tribunals, first formed in March 1793, were originally charged with investigating and dispensing justice to enemies of the Revolution. The first tribunals were small in number and relatively benign. However, their numbers and power have increased during the Reign of Terror. Now, at the height of the Reign of Terror, there are almost 200 tribunals around France. Notorious prosecutor Antoine Fouquier-Tinville has sent more than 2,700 people to their deaths, and these tribunals have begun to override and abandon legal procedures. Jean-Baptiste Carrier, the true creator of the tribunals, has ordered the mass drownings of hundreds of suspected royalists in Nantes, many of them priests, nuns, women, and children. Many complaints have been made against the tribunals for its slowness in processing and finalizing cases, and so, under pressure from Paris sections, the tribunals have become 4 courts rather than 1. On September 17th, the law of suspects was passed, which means that just being vaguely suspected or accused of counter-revolutionary activities or political views is enough to be tried as guilty.
Furthermore, Robespierre, the leader of the Jacobin government, was put to death for orchestrating the massacre of thousands of civilians on July 1794. By Robespierre and the Jacobins' hand, a total of 15,000 to 40,000 people were killed during the Reign of Terror. Robespierre was the last victim of the Reign of Terror. Not only was Robespierre executed for being the reason why thousands died, but because the other members of the Jacobin government started to see him as a huge threat. The Jacobin members arrested and executed anyone they thought would be a threat to them. Politicians were seen as a huge threat to Robespierre and the Jacobin members. The executions have become a very popular form of entertainment. Vendors would sell programs that listed names of people who were going to be executed that day.
Back to you, Emmie and Aubrey.
Join the Revolutionary Army!
Today!
Hold up. What's your name?
Jock.
You're cool. What's your name?
Jock.
You're good. What's your name?
Marie.
Sorry, you can't come in. What's your name?
Jock.
You're good.
So what do you guys think is the next step in the revolution?
Well, I heard they set up a new guillotine right down the street, so I think-
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've seen you
there's
before.
So many.
Didn't I stop you at the door?
No.
You've got some pretty nice shoes. I think you're gonna have to come with me. Let's go. Come on, you gotta come with me.
Where do you guys think she's going?
The guillotine.
That's it for LEF News. Liberty, equality,
Fraternity!